So we'll say you have some animations in, you have your camera set up, but you want to have more than just this first camera that you've set up in your sequence, right? As you remember, I set up several cameras, but I've only dealt with this one gray box cam, which doesn't even have the animated character that I brought in. So what I'm going to show you now is how to use master sequences. So just like where we found the add level sequence, we're going to come up here to the top and we're going to add a master sequence. And I am just going to name it the master, master, and I'm going to put it into my video folder. And these default settings are fine, so I'm just going to hit create sequence. What the master sequence essentially is just a collection of your different shots. So as of now, I have only created this one shot with a camera. What you can do is you can start to move your shots around. So we have the one shot, but I'm actually going to go through and I'm going to make a couple of other shots really quickly in my different cameras, and then we'll just get back into recomposing this together. So what I need to do is I need to go and add a new level sequence. I'll just add that into my video again, and I'll call this one the slow fall. So this will be a new shot, and this one is going to be using my rise camera, which is maybe a little of a misnomer there. I accidentally moved my camera from its original position, but that's okay because I'll readjust that later on. The important thing is that we just get the initial setup ready. And I'll just go ahead and save that sequence. I'm going to add another sequence for my sideways moving camera. And I'm going to add this camera to that sequence. And I'm just going to save it as well. Once we have our initial shots set up as their own sequences, I'm going to jump into the master sequence. And what you can do is you can just delete all this stuff out. And I'm just going to add in these different shots. So we have added dramatic shots, cam translate. Let's add in slow fall as well. So now I have these three shots, and what I want to do is I want to start composing them here in my shot track. If I jump into a cinematic viewport, so you'll notice once you drag your shots into the list here, which I find is actually really handy to separate the shots by these vertical tracks, but you'll notice that nothing is changing up here in the viewport. So what you want to do is you want to click this little button here, this camera, this lock viewport to shots. And so now, if we were to click play on your master sequence, it's going to actually just play through each shot piece by piece. Obviously, we need to go through and finish these two camera cuts, which we can do really easily now that we've made this master sequence. Because what we can do is you can actually just double click on the shot, and now you have entered into this shot in the sequencer. To get back to your master sequence, you can click master here, or whatever you've named it, and then just double click in and out of your different sequences. Now that we're in, for example, this shot, I'm going to animate its movement, so I'm just going to go through and do that really quickly. You may need to jump out of that mode. What I'm going to do is, since I know I have a 30-second video I'm working towards now, I'm going to, in the sequencer, just pull it all the way out to 30 seconds. And you'll see here now, as I pull through this, is animating this camera. I'm going to go ahead and drag this out to the end to slow down that motion, right? So I've increased the time but kept the distance the same, so it'll go slower. And that'll just be for a nice, dramatic, slow falling camera. It's always good to double check in your sequence setup that your shots are the right length. And I know here that I want this third shot in the middle to take about this long. So now I want this shot to translate from left to right, and I'll spend a little bit more time on this shot showcasing specifically how to get these animations to play in the shot.